What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about different ways to level your character in Rift. Now, if you want to see more Rift content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to be notified when I post new videos. If you can't wait until the next video, join my Discord. There's a link down in the description with a channel dedicated to Rift guides. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the video. So I had some people ask in the comments of the last video about paying for expansions. No, you do not have to pay for the expansions. A free-to-play player can level all the way up to level 70 and participate in all the content without having to pay a dime. The only thing that you do have to pay for, and that's only if you want to, is for additional roles like the Harbinger, which is what my main character is, the Primalist, the Mystic Archer, things like that. Now again, that is totally optional. You do not have to pay for those roles if that's not something you're interested in paying for. There are two ways of leveling up in Rift. One is slow and one is fast. So I'm going to go over the slow method first for new players, and the fast way for new and returning players. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a super fast way. Now, the slow way is to do the story quest. There are some benefits from doing this way, especially for new players. The story quest will of course give you the story and the lore of Rift, which is really cool if you take the time to do it and you're into learning lore. The second advantage that it gives new players is the items you will get are best in slot for your level until you start raiding. Yes, you will be constantly getting better gear, but thanks to Rift's wardrobe feature, all of those weapons and gear that you get can be used for cool wardrobes later on. Now, one thing to note, even if you do use the faster method to level, you will have to do at least one section of the story, because there does come to a point where the story is going to be the fastest method to level, and it's going to be important for your in-game content. Another reason you would want to do the story is for the content. A lot of players will use the faster method to level, and then complain that there's no content. But that's just it, isn't it? You skipped all of the content, you went to the end of the game. Now you can go back and do the story over once you get to endgame, but there is quite a lot to do in endgame before you're left with just a few raids to week, but we'll go over endgame content in depth in a later video. Now, one last reason you would want to have done the story is to have your map unlocked for special events like Battle Pass. The Rift developers have been having players do old content to satisfy the requirements for Battle Pass, and having the Particulums and other areas unlocked on your map will help you get to those missions a lot quicker. So now that we've gone over the pros and cons of the slow method, let's get into the fast method. To do the faster method, you will need to be at least level 10 and have Intrepid Instant Adventures unlocked. I do recommend playing the story though until you're level 20 just to have a few more abilities unlocked on your soul tree, as well as having better armor to go in with, even though you'll be boosted to level 65 while you're doing the Instant Adventures. Now the thing about instant adventuring is that although it is faster, you will get less frequent gear drops, and the gear that you do get, you'll outgrow pretty fast. Instant adventuring is very easy, and once you get the mechanics down, the content really isn't challenging at all. With that being said, it does make instant adventuring quite the grind. Once you've gone through a rotation of instant adventures, you'll eventually get back to the content where you started the instant adventure, and it will repeat the process, and if you're like me, the repetitive nature of it can be boring at times. So leveling using instant adventures is fastest when going from the lower levels up to level 65. After you hit level 65, it's actually faster to go through the Prophecy of Ankhet storyline, plus you'll need the notoriety from doing quests in these areas for in-game content anyway. Now, I want to give a word of caution when you go here. You'll want to start at the level 65 zones even if you reached a higher level because of your gear. The gear you get from those instant adventures are going to be trash in this area, and enemies are going to be tougher, so be advised and try not to take on too many mobs at one time. Another thing that you'll want to do once you've gotten to level 65 is look for a good leveling spec in the Rift forums. Now they have specs for each class broken down for leveling, raids, and PvP. Again, this is because the enemies are way tougher here and your one button spam is probably not going to do you any good here. Now that you're doing the stories, it's a good chance that you'll hit level 70, which is current max level, before you finish the story, and that's okay. You'll still want to finish out the story because the story will give you gear as you finish parts of it. Specifically, if you don't do any other story quest, do the Vostagar Peak story because that storyline is going to give you the gear you need to do your first introductory raid called Tartaric Depths Easy Mode. To level up even faster in this game, there are a few other things you can do to speed up the process. The first is to have Patron. Patron supports Rift and is $15 a month. Among the benefit it gives you is an extra 40% experience from everything, and I mean absolutely anything that will give you experience. It will give you an extra 40% on top of that, and it's very nice. You can also get experience files from the caches you get every 10 levels. Now you don't want to use these right away. These are best saved for the level 65 to 70 grind, and they give anywhere between 80 to 160% additional experience for 2 hours in the game once they're used. Now I had mentioned at the beginning of this video a bonus method you could do for leveling, and surprise, I've actually got two! First is something you have to purchase on the Rift store. It's called a level 65 boost, and what it does is instantly takes any character and makes them level 65 and gives you 3 crafting skill boosts up to level 450. Now you'll still have to do crafting to get them to level 525, and you'll have to do the story to reach level 70, but one of the other things that it gives you is a full set of level 65 gear. The only downside to this, besides missing out on story content, well, it's $30. Now some people will pay that for the instant boost, but if you really think about it, you're paying money to not play a free-to-play game. Now does that make any sense? To some people it might, but to me it just doesn't make sense at all. Now the second method is free, however it requires assistance from another higher level player, but you'll be at max level in about 4 hours. Now the person being leveled needs to have a Transcendent Experience Vial, the one that gives 160% additional experience boost, and the person helping you should have a few other items on as well. Now this section really needs a video all to itself to show all the steps, however there is a written guide for it in my Discord, and if enough people comment below saying that they want the video for it, I'll make another video showing the steps exactly. But that's it for this leveling video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and we'll talk about more Rift content in the upcoming video. Until next time, I'm Kurraku0, and I'll see you in the next video.